No way this just happened. The Bengals suffered a huge loss at the hands of the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. We're going to break down the game and why this was such a huge loss for the Bengals, who are already dealing with Joe Burrow being out for an extended period of time, and what to expect for the Cincinnati Bengals team going forward after this tremendous loss. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. Happy to see you Bengals fans despite this tough loss that they have handled. It's happy to see you. We appreciate all you subscribers out there. We are coming up on 3,000 subscribers. So if you have not already, be sure you smash that subscribe button down below so you'll be up to date when all of our new videos drop. What is there to say, Bengals fans? This had very little good that we can really focus on. This was worst case scenario for the Bengals going into a game first without Joe Burrow this season. It's already bad news enough to hear that Joe Burrow could be out 3 months or more this season. That's the worst news the Bengals could have got. Now you have the next kind of worst news, just a absolute horrible loss at Minnesota. And we get it. We get it. There is going to probably be a tough sledding going with Jake Browning coming in, but the team overall just looked lost. What else there's to say? I mean, you can try and look at the positives. They look like they were in that game, but the turnover bug just bit them hard today. 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions total today. You're just at a loss of words. What is there to say? If you watched and gutted that whole game out, I commend you. I really do. I was watching it and I'm just feeling for all the Bengals fans out there, because this is the complete opposite of what you want to see from this Bengals team. There's so much talent on this team that this is not up to par. This is not the kind of Bengals you would see. They're not going to win every single game. That's not to say that, but this is not the kind of losses you're expecting. Not a record 38-point deficit. This set the record for the worst loss in Bengals history. That's how bad we're talking about this loss. So if you're looking at the bar down below, just to make a quick mention, it might be saying that the Bengals are 2-0, but that was back when the Bengals had a top 5 quarterback leading. So that's what those stats are. This stat will come up to date. Just want to make a quick mention of that. But this is going to be a hard pill to swallow for the Bengals. Final score 48-10. Just not good. The Bengals had 21 rushes for 53 yards total, for a total of 2.5 yards. I chalk it up to that was a big part of now a lot more pressure on Jake Browning. It felt like that was going to be a big crucial point. There's so much to unpack. We'll be bringing this out through the week. This is just kind of touching on the overall score and factors of why we got to this point, mentioning 5 turnovers. That's an easy way of looking at it, that this team is not going to win games having turnovers like that. That is the first thing this team is going to need to fix. But you had a guy that broke out today. You had Isaiah Rodgers. He was a part of those turnovers. He became the first defensive player to have a pick 6, a fumble recovered for a touchdown, and 2 forced fumbles. You got to just tip your hat at that point. Like, they had this guy just playing his brains out. But there's still no excuses for that. Still no excuses. You're talking about a fumble even coming from Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, Samaje Perine, and Noah Fant all fumbled. Those are guys, to me, if you were to say there's going to be 3 fumbles in this game, and you try to guess the players, at least for sure Jamar Chase and Samaje Perine, I would not have guessed. Noah Fant, even though he's a veteran. 3 guys that you would kind of have confidence holding on to the ball. And there was other guys. Mike Gesicki, I believe, at one point dropped the ball. They were able to recover it, but they just looked lost. It looked like somebody snuck some butter on the football or something. There was just something off. So the biggest finger you can point is the turnovers. For sure, that's going to be why this team suffered such a huge loss. Franchise history kind of a loss. It's just unacceptable. It's just not the kind of loss you're going to sit and watch and enjoy. I mean, if this was in Cincinnati, you would have seen the fans just tearing out the exits. it was just an embarrassment. That's the best way I can put it. There's a lot of things you can dissect. There's a lot of things you can look at. The turnovers are what you're going to come back to. And yes, that defense is going to get a lot of scrutiny going forward, because despite the turnovers, you could say this or that about they could have had a chance with it. The defense didn't hold up this time. They held up the first 2 weeks, and they looked shaky the first 2 weeks. This isn't to say they were completely locked down, but by comparison, this defense did not give up 48 points in either games the first 2 weeks. And here we are. Now we're looking at a Bengals team without its starting quarterback and a defense that was keeping you in games. Now there's a big question mark. That's where I think Al Golden is going to need to really rally these guys. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board, because these guys look lost. There was a lot of coverage blown. There were just guys wide open. The Vikings, they have Justin Jefferson. They have these guys that, yeah, you're going to expect they're going to get their yards. They're going to get their points, but not 48. Not 48. That's just not acceptable in my eyes, especially from a defense that clamped down the last few weeks. This isn't going to be an earth-shattering defense either, but it does concern you. This is definitely a wake-up call. This isn't just red flags. This is alarms going off. You need to get this ship right immediately, because, again, Joe Burrow is looking to be out for 3 months, and what do? You got to hold it down while he's out. And if they can show that they can come together, I mean, even if Joe Burrow is going to be out longer than the 3 months, there can still be confidence this team can go to the playoffs, make a run, but it's going to come down to that defense. The defense is going to have to pick up the offense, and vice versa. There's going to be games where the offense is going to need to pick up the defense. Today, both sides completely failed. They did not look in sync at all. I'm sure if you listen to the interviews coming this week, they'll probably tell you that there was just something off about this game. If you want to take that as a positive, this is one game. We're 3 games in, and the Bengals are 2-1. As of this recording, it looks like the Steelers are going to be tied with them, but we'll see what happens as the week goes on into next week. What's going to happen? Can they rebound from this? But a lot of pressure is going to be on Jake Browning. He did not look good today either, forcing a lot of passes. He had those 2 interceptions. I don't know. This should be a wake-up call for this team. You don't want to dwell on it too much, because, again, I go back to this is early in the season. This is one game. But I also believe that could be, if a trend continues like this, now those talks of what is a question mark with Zach Taylor is he going to be able to get this team to where it needs to go? Is it going to be Zach Taylor on the hot seat come off season? That's what we were hearing before the season even started. It seemed like Zach Taylor was already on the hot seat to begin with. Again, if you want to look at any kind of positive, they are 2-1. They are sitting atop of the division currently. They're tied with the Steelers, but that's a concern. That should be a wake-up call to this team. That if they don't right the ship, you're going to see a lot of people on the hot seat if they are not already. I feel like fans are going to get a little restless seeing this kind of performance, because, yeah, Bengals fans, let it out. If you have some disappointment, you're going to be right. Whatever phase, I'm at a loss for words. I mean, every phase was very poorly executed come on this day. It just was not good. Look at the positive. Let's see if they can turn this thing around, have at least a competitive spirit back to where they were the first 2 weeks. They weren't pretty games, but they still had that competitive spirit going. That's what got them to 2-0. Let's see if they can get back on track, get to 3-1. I think that would get that confidence back, because this can be one of those games that is a make or break. Unfortunately, you also want to take it with a grain of salt. It's one game. It is also putting you at a fork in the road. This can break you to where your confidence level going forward and it becomes a trend, or you're able to recognize what you need to correct, get it corrected, and move forward. Remains to be seen. We want to hear from you guys. So much to unpack. Was not pretty. Again, the thing that blows me away, this is the record for the franchise. Worst loss in franchise history. Just shake your head at it. Hope they can turn this around. We'll remain hopeful, but we want to hear from you guys. So comment below your thoughts. What do you think of the game while you're watching it? What were you feeling? And what's your confidence level going forward? We want to hear from you guys. Comment below. Again, if you have not already, smash that subscribe button so you'll be all up to date on all of our videos as they drop. So that's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Uday.